Welcome to Beyond Marketing, the podcast. I'm Maira Genovese. I'm the founder and CEO of MG Empower Global Integrated Market Agency. Today, I'm joined by the incredible Lady Barbara Ayotte, award-winning creative and style director whose work sits at the intersection of fashion, art, film, and culture. She has collaborated with global names including Netflix, Nike, Amazon, Chanel, and the British Fashion Council, bring a diverse creative vision across styling, costume design, and editorial. Welcome to the Beyond Marketing, the podcast, Lady Barbara. What a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. I was looking forward to meet you and to have this conversation. We met at an event at my home, actually.
Yes, at Free.
At Free.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was just like a great connection. And I started following you and following your work. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, there's something very special about Lady Barbara. And then I said to the team, we need to bring her to the podcast because I'm fascinating about everything that you do. But now I want to know more about your story, your background, your childhood. Let's start off introducing yourself. Who is Lady Barbara?
So first of all, hi everyone. Lovely to meet you all, and thank you, Han, for having me here. So who is Lady Barbara? So Lady Barbara Ayotte for Sophia, she is a dreamer, I would say, first of all, and an angel and part-time human. But if I go into depth, as in within the earth reality, I am a creative director, artist, style director, production design, and I guess visionary. Yes, these are the things that I think sort of define me as a being at the moment. And then I'm Italian Nigerian, first generation born and raised in Italy, in the northern Italy. I grew up there, lived there all my life. I had a very interesting childhood as being the first generation, being born there. Italy in the 90s, or I guess maybe like in the north, I don't know if everywhere was like that. They had this project where they will assign families to new immigrants to help them to integrate within the community. And I was given to beautiful family whom became my godparents. Wow. And one was a farm family. They had a big farm. They had a massive factory, like industrialist. Yes. So really, like, I grew up between these two families. So I had a very early approach to the understanding of like nature, so farming, and then entrepreneurs and business realistically. Yes, I guess that's a bit of the beginning of my life.
I love the angel. Why angel?
Because like, I feel that I am certainly a very kind person, certainly a very empathetic person, and I do not have any bad bone in me, for
That's
certain.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I've always, since day one, like I remember saying to my mother and my grandmother that I wanted to be like Martin Luther King when I was a child.
That.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of like a bit angel approach. Yeah, I guess.
And
so.
like, it's just fascinating now that you're telling like how you were born in Italy and grew up into like two families and the farm and entrepreneurship, and now describing yourself as someone that is just like have your, your earth, who you are, and spiritual. Yes, yeah. Barbara. And where the creativity came into that combination of what you have described, is it something that since your child, you said that the nature was something that you have been embedded in learning and, raised within nature? How the creative came into what you do today?
I've always been this person. I guess because I'm so in tune with my surrounding, like I translate it into what we call creativity. Yes, I've always been this person. I guess also because I'm so empathetic, and I believe being the first generation born in a country where, my parents had to adapt, where I was born there. So I had two culture within me. Mm-hmm. I've become quite a very early age, like an anthropologist, because I had to observe my surrounding to be able to fit in, to be able to understand, and also to translate perhaps to my parents, whom Italian wasn't their first language, So I guess like all of this, like almost six senses has brought me to be a very creative person, and been able to bridge all of this sort of gap and conversations and culture into something that could be a piece of editorial, a piece of photography, a painting, or a campaign, or a conversation, or an essay. I don't know, yeah.
Because your work, your creativity, it's very unique, right? It's very authentic. And this is something that is very special, especially in the world that we're living right now, right? Where trends set where creativity should go, where authenticity is becoming less and less. But looking at the history of your work and where you are now, you're keeping very consistent to who you are and how authentic you are. So, and then you say that a lot of what you do came from your own instinct.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
I have a big style. So, when I walk into any room, I walk into a room with a presence. But as a personality, I am certainly an observer more than anything. I always say I could walk into any room as a teacher, but I do prefer to be a student. And I think this element, connecting to your question, has basically, give me this instinct to be able to translate really what I'm understanding into creativity. But also, I don't know, because I never really judge, I just observe, I just try to learn. And then through all my learning and my observation, I put into practice. And for other people also perhaps to learn and to see a little bit deeper. But that's just me as a vessel at the end of the day of God more than anything, And then it's up to people to do what they want to with this information.
And how to keep relevant?
Well, I guess relevant, it's about understanding the past, knowing your past, understanding the complexity of your present. And once you have these two equations together, then you can almost see the future.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you say about like your instinct to creative something, it's just because what is your process? Because people have different process when they are creating, right? When you come to, a briefing, by the way, are you someone that likes to receive a proper briefing, or you're someone that is just like 2 words and just come with an idea? So how do you like to, when you're working to your creative flow, is it like a defined briefing or a more losing briefing, let's say?
I guess it depends, it depends on the clientele, and it really depends. I'm really good with both. Normally when people come to me to collaborate with me and work with me, or to ask for my expertise, it's pretty loose. They're like, this is what I have in mind. This is how I would like to achieve something. And then I just come with the journey, how to get there, and the final images. But I really do not mind, because it depends. Obviously, if I'm working as a creative director for an artist, right, then I'm just a vessel. I'm not here to dictate what I think is good. I'm here to translate their feeling, their vision into something. Where, if it's a marketing, a big like commercial campaign, then of course I am a little bit more restricted. But because I'm an anthropologist, at the end of the day, whatever I put into place is the understanding of the society which they need for the campaign. Where I come within my own personal process as my own personal project, like I'm always like under this like different level of living there, and then I just translated, into images, and I do a lot of research. I take a lot of pictures and I do a lot of research online. I read, and then I create sort of archives, and then I translate it into a project. So yes, for example, in 2 weeks' time, I would say, my biggest exhibition yet.
That's amazing. Here in London?
Yeah, here in London, which is a bomba. I'm excited and be like, yeah.
That's very exciting. And then like, you're a very confident woman, which I love it about it, right? Because you just said, when I walk in the room, I make an impact straight away, and you do, right? Because when I met you, that was the first thing I thought, wow, what a beautiful woman with full of confidence, and then very smart, but very kind at the same time. So that confidence always being there in you?
No, confidence is something that you build. Like, I think my confidence really came out like when I started university in London. Growing up in Italy, because, I was the only black kid all my life, really, until I moved here. And being in a Western world where the idea of beauty isn't black, I wasn't that confident. However, I was lucky enough that I was well-spoken, well-dressed, light-skinned. My family, my dad did well, so we were not poor. So, like, I experienced racism, but in a different way. But I lacked of confidence in the idea of beauty, because, black beauty wasn't portrayed as a beauty, So when I moved to London for the first time, I was exposed to multiculturalism. I was exposed to other people looking like me, different pigmentation or shade of brown. And I think that's when I started to accept, myself as a beautiful woman, and never really sort of question it. And also, I really embraced my both cultures. So my tribal essence, Igbo. I'm an Igbo woman, which is South and East Nigerian. We are denomination of the Jewish. Realistically, Igbo come from Ibrahu. Okay. In the story of the Bible, we are basically when Moses opened the water, the Jews got some of them got lost. Some of them went to Ethiopia, and the other one went to West Africa, and that's the Igbo people.
Okay, interesting.
And then, but coming back to what you were saying, ask me, I really embrace my blood, my DNA. And then, once you know where you stand with yourself, then nothing really can break you, Don't get me wrong, sometimes I can be so vulnerable as everyone. But my confidence comes in the fact that I know who I am, and I know that I never do anyone wrong, so, so I don't understand why I shouldn't be confident. And as I said, I always walk into any room, I could walk into a room as a teacher, but I choose to be a student. So that's my humbleness into always being ready to learn new things.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And London has shaped you in so many ways, you would say?
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah.
What do you define your biggest change since moving from Italy to London?
I guess definitely being able to be myself. Definitely being able to be myself. It's the biggest achievement that anyone can really have, and, obviously, like in terms of career, I've managed to work with Chris Brown. I worked with Wixkid. I started my career with Little Sims, Clear Soul. I was their creative director for a bit. Like, I don't know, like I did the global Christmas campaign of Amazon 2020.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And that was amazing. And it was the first Black art director working with them or for them, female as well.
Wow.
Not many. Yes, like, and even, for example, this year, I am exhibiting at Photo London in the section of positioning, which is a section dedicated to artists that their photography practice more fine art. And they normally choose 10 people globally every year. And I'm the only diaspora African Black female. There are this is little achievement that for me,
No, it's a little achievement. It's a big achievement.
Big achievement, yeah.
You've been very humble. There are big achievements. And also it's just like, it's amazing for you to inspire other women, right? That your story can make someone else's story different because of you. Do you feel that you can kind of use your own voice to also embrace others, to have the courage and just to achieve big things?
Absolutely, yeah. I am a product or a testimony of a lot of, I would say a lot of like God guidance. Yeah, because my journey wasn't straight, smooth operator. But yeah, like, yes, definitely.
Spirituality and creativity. So do you combine both?
Yes, 100%.
How do you do that?
Very interesting question. How do I do that? So the input come from the spirit, and it translates into the understanding that I have, the coding, and it translates into a material of creativity. But the input is always divine.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And do you listen to that divine input to you all the time? Is your guidance?
Oh, yeah. 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 When I'm creating, I'm not on this planet. I'm there. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And like the world we're living now, right? We talk about AI and how AI is shaping creativity and, like all this talking around like what's the impact that would be on creative minds and creative work. Do you believe AI can replace creativity, human creativity in a way? Or what's your, I don't believe it, just so you know, but I'm keen to hear from someone that is very creative as you. What's the role of AI when it comes to creativity?
I think AI needs an input. Without an input, AI cannot do anything. So that's number one. It still needs a human into that. I think AI, if it's used in a good way, it can be so beneficial for you. But it cannot beat creativity.
It's impossible.
No, it's impossible because creativity is spiritual. Like it's not from here, really. AI is just a big machine full of information. It can translate, but those information are from the human.
Need to come from the brain.
Yeah, exactly. So without the human input, then there is no AI. So I don't think AI can beat creativity at all. I think people are going to use more and more AI to save budgets. That's the truth, reality. That's an unfortunate. But still yet, you will see when something is being created by a machine and when there is the human. That is, you just feel it,
You just feel it. Yeah. Are you using it, AI, now?
Yes.
You use more for which
writing. Mainly, because English is not my first language. So, when I think a lot. So sometimes like my thought are not structured. And normally what I ask to AI is to structure my thought. And then he helps me to structure the thought, and then And then I see patterns, and then like I have, conversations with him and say, oh no, this is not good. Da, da, da. Yeah, but it's mainly more on the cerebral.
It's kind of like a brainstorming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And also because, AI, it's there and it's obviously full of information. So it's just very interesting, and you can really take it to the next level with your questions. And I'm all about philosophy and, as I said, anthropology, ontology, and all of these things. So AI is great in terms of that sort of information. Yeah.
100%. And how do you it's like social media now is just like becoming a source of information, trends, ideas, news. Do you consume social media a lot or not? And does social media impact in your work, in the way you think, the way you structure your thoughts, the way you're creative? Do you get sometimes looking what you're seeing in social as a trend, and do you feel like your work needs to be based on trends as well? How do you deal with this amount of information?
Well, social media is a very interesting thing that humanity has created, and
it's very interesting thing you did,
because it's almost two worlds. There is your world, and there is the world that you've decided to portray to the world. To me, the use of social media is, again, informative. A lot of time it's informative, not trend following at all. Yes, it's mainly informative. I do consume it. I've noticed in the last maybe 6 months, I've consumed more social media than I've ever consumed it before. I have time limit.
Okay.
Because I like to, not to do that, but I do consume it. But I don't it's more informative for me more than anything. And I've also, I was always aware that social media doesn't necessarily portray the real world of everyone that people are going through, but it's just what they want others to see, which is the beautiful life, the beautiful bling, 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 blah. And, sometimes, although knowing this, I had to remind myself that this is just a part of life,
100%.
I am very envious of people that don't need social media.
I'm very envious of people that doesn't need social media.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Completely. Because they're free. They're absolutely free. And my dream is to get to that point. Is where I don't need that.
It's interesting that you're saying that, because I was with a very good friend of mine in Brazil now, and she's a big influencer in Brazil, like 5 billion followers, and she's been, working on social for like over 10 years now. And she said the same thing. She's like, I really envy people that does not need social media. And now she's working towards to find a path where she can be free. How interesting that people are now willing to live free without social, because we all become dependent of social, because social becomes our work.
Yeah.
Because you need to go on social, because you need to post your work.
Yeah.
You need to showcase your work, because people will discover you on social.
Yeah.
So if you don't have anything there, how people will know who is Lady Barbara, what's your portfolio, what you have been doing, and it's the same for what we do. And we get stuck. But at the same time, it's suffocated, because it's a pressure that we always need to be there.
Yeah.
And now I feel like more and more people are trying to think of how do I get out of here? And do you think there's a way to get out of it?
Oh, yes. I think there is.
What would be that? Do you know? Because we're brainstorm, me and my friend, and they're but how we get away from?
I think you need to be successful enough that you can have a team that manages for you. That's it.
But your presence was still going to be there. It's not just you posting.
You have a meeting once a week, or maybe once a month. It depends, and where you schedule, the things. So, and you have a team that deals with that. You can approve it, but you don't have to manage it. You don't have to be there. And in the long term, you know, like it just becomes about your work. I think I think that's the only way.
The only way.
That's the only way, you know. Yeah. And then it's up to you. Like, I'm so happy when I'm not on social media. Like, when I have really, really busy day where I don't have the time to look at my phone, you know, so it's not just social media.
You feel
like
super productive. Like, oh my God, I didn't look to social media today. I'm very productive.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. The feeling of like, oh my God. Someone's like, did you see that on Instagram? I was like, no, guys, today I didn't have the time to check. And then you feel so good to give the answer, because if you have time, you're there checking, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's interesting.
I can't wait.
Are you more like a Instagram person, or? Definitely
more an Instagram person. I have TikTok, but I don't use it as much. I have Facebook, but I don't use it. I'm really limiting myself to one because, again, I want to be free at the end of the day, and I do not want to be restricted into having to control all of this platform, you know, because at the end of the day, they create serotonin. Like, you get addicted to it.
You get addicted. It's like
addicted.
A serotonin.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Trends. Do you, like we said that, like, you don't follow trends?
No.
But you have to know trends, right?
Yeah.
So you needed to kind of, how do you balance? I don't follow the trends, but I need to know what is the trend.
The thing is that.
Or do you believe in trends? Let's like start from there.
Like, I can see trend because I can see everyone wearing the same thing, you know? So yes, there is a trend, you know, so what people buy, and sometimes they wear people things, and, you know, yes. But going back into my fashion world, I've always been just extremely stylish, just because, I don't know, it's just in my blood. And I have never really followed trend. I remember an example, when Balenciaga did the trainers with the 3 soles.
Remember
right?
that, yes.
When those one first came out, the first show, I was like, oh, this is innovative. And I was like, I'm going to buy it because this is a revolution onto the way trainers are designed. And that's why I bought it. I didn't buy it because it eventually became a trend. I bought it because of the revolution.
The revolution.
Yeah. And, you know, when Alaya did, you know, the ballerina with the stud, and, you know.
That was a revolution.
Yeah, that was a revolution. And now everyone is wearing it. I didn't purchase those ones, but I was like, those are beautiful and they're new, you know. So, like, I understand it, but I don't follow it. I always buy things that I like, you know. And, you know, I think it was like Fashion Week 2024, that year, I wore an outfit which was like a knitted handmade from Bolivian's women, a Chloe piece when Gabriela Hearst was designing, completely full of colors, and a pair of like jeans, and my beautiful Casadei, which I adore, like platform from the 70s. They're not vintage, but the style is, yeah. And I got photographed, and I literally was on all the magazine, like from Vogue Italia, Vogue UK, you know, Vogue America, Bazaar, Glamour, Grazia, name it, The Impressionist, the New York Times, Style Time. I was everywhere with that. And, you know, and they were like, that's the new trend. So, and that, funny enough, I was like, I'm going to be late to this show. I just need to wear something. And I was like, I'm going to wear that and that. And I was literally less than 2 minutes thinking of my brain.
So you didn't plan a day before?
Out. And that outfit, so simple, but it became like a hit, you know. So that became a trend, you know. Well, a direction.
And this is funny, like, because you're saying 2020, right? So 2020, 24. Social media was already there, but magazine was still very strong, you know, piece of, you know, look of the Fashion Week, which is now still, but more on social.
Yeah.
And it gets viral even more quick. Before,
Yeah.
we would have to wait for the magazine to come in to say what people were wearing during the fashion week. And then I would say that it became like, boom, viral. It's just because social media really helps as well to actually get and to amplify it.
Yeah.
And then like, for example, with this example, this then prove to you that is less about the trend, but much more about who you are. Indeed. And how do you pursue yourself.
Indeed, yeah.
Because
completely.
you were just like, okay, I'm going to wear that. So you didn't think about what people are wearing, how I'm going to make an impact on the streets. You just went for it with your instinct that you're saying that you're very much led by it. And then it's become boom.
Yeah. That's it.
Beautiful. Fashion Week is something that you're still very much involved with designers and show.
Yes.
What is your role within the Fashion Weeks now?
So I've been working with Natal magazine as their fashion editor for few years now, quite some times. And then normally I go as their representative to all the shows. And also being a stylist and a style director, it's important to see the garment in real because when you then get booked to do a job, you know how they would fall with your client, you know. So for me, it's always important to go, and I love to see innovation. You know, I love clothes. I understand garments so well. But yeah, that's still my involvement with the fashion world, really.
Leadership. What leadership means to you?
Leadership. So I guess to me, leadership means what it is to me, what it means to be a leader. To me, a leader is someone that is almost selfless, but very smart, because it's not about you. It's about a bigger purpose. Therefore, you need to understand all the complexity of the journey to get that from point A to point B, and everyone needs to go with you there. So how do you do that? And sometimes, you know, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this because, you know, it's uncomfortable, but then you cannot think like that. So it's kind of selfless, but very smart. You have to be a very good check player, I believe. Empathetic, certainly, because you need to understand your people, but then also cold when you have to confront with whoever you need to, you know. Leadership also to me means to be loyal, you know, to your cause, and to the direction that you're going, and to the people that you've promised things, you know, to get there. Yes, I guess for me, those are what it means to be a leader or leadership in general. Yeah.
I love that. It's very profound because it's not easy to be a leader, right? So I love what you said about selfless, but it's smart, empathetic, and how to get people with you through your purpose. Yeah. It's a lot of box to be taking in, and it's not for everyone.
I know, absolutely.
It's not for everyone. No. Do you see yourself as a good leader?
Oh, Maria, I guess I could be, yes. I'm very humble. But yes, I definitely see myself as a leader, for sure. There was a moment in 2020, yes, during lockdown when George Floyd happened. And we all went to protest, you know, in the streets to London. At some point, I was leading the crowd.
That's beautiful. How did you lead the crowd at that time?
I have no clue. I was just leading. You know, I was saying things and chanting, and people were just following me. And there is a picture of me that someone took and a friend of mine sent me, and I literally look like Malcolm X, you know. And it was like quite interesting, but it wasn't a very interesting feeling how everyone just started like following me. And I was like, oh wow, that's yeah.
Do you get a lot of involvement in protests when it touches your heart? How do you get involved?
It really you have to come to a point where I'm like, okay, now we need to go out. I try not to go out too much because, you know, I'm a Black woman at the end of the day, you know, and I need other people to raise their voice for me, because I am in the historical, the victim. So of course I'm gonna be out
there.
Yeah, but I need other people to have my back,
Yeah.
And so, I always try to do this in a very smart way, unless I really feel like it's time, But again, evolution and, and erasing racism or prejudice and all of that, when you are the target, it's a bit stupid for you to go and show yourself, because you need a community that looks different to you and had different background and upbringing that can vouch for your human rights. So it's very tricky for me just to go and protest. But if I'm in any room and there are conversations where I believe I disagree with them, then I question them. For sure. I never have argument with people, because having an argument is stupid. You don't get to any place.
No.
But I question them, I challenge them. I challenge their state of quo and their opinion. And I think that's really how you can truly shift things, I am against any form of violence, whatever is physical, mental, vocal. I'm against any form of violence. So I always try not to get to that state, of rage, because it's the worst. It's really the worst. But the world, has proven that, we're developing as human, as in the sense that our technology is beyond. We have AI, artificial intelligence, but as human, for sake of being human, we are going backward, because we're killing each other. For what reason? Because you believe that this land was given to you, really and truly. Yes. Like, if you believe in any religions, God doesn't want you to fight. God wants you to unify. And there is space for everyone in this world to live together peacefully, respectfully. Point.
But we're definitely going backwards, and I could not agree more with you. Yeah. So we're killing each other for land. For oil.
Like back in the days.
Back in the days, which is crazy, right? Crazy. This is really, really crazy. Yeah. But I'm still someone that has hope.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have hope, how are we going to be able to wake up every day thinking that we're going backwards? So I tried myself to continue to be a hopeful person, that God is, he knows the way to take us out there and putting the humanity in the place that has to be, because we cannot continue like that.
I know. I believe I have hope too, but I certainly walk in faith.
Yes. Yeah. Every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day is just because it's just like it's how we can continue to smile and do our work, right? Because I think there's not much we can change ourselves for what's happening in the world, but we can change ourselves and how we are taking what happened around us and how this is changing us in a way that we can support others, because what's happened is not our control.
No.
But we have the control of how we behave towards that.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like that's what I'm taking day by day. It's just like, this I cannot control, and I'm not gonna let this noise to affect me and my surround. So I'm gonna continue to walk with faith.
Yeah.
Knowing that what I can do, I will do, and then what I cannot,
God will
do. Yes.
I agree.
Childhood, being a Black woman, what has taught you?
Oh my God. Childhood being a Black woman, what's that taught me? Kindness. Kindness, for sure. Because, I guess when you have episode of racism against you, you could also be upset about it, right? And, a lot of the time the conversation between Black and white is reparation, But as Nelson Mandela said, like, you know, we need to live peacefully all together and love each other.
Yes.
So kindness, definitely a lot of kindness. You know, and also, you know, when Jesus like was on the cross and he was dying, he said, God forgive them because they don't know what they're doing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And I think that in a smaller way, when you receive an act of violence, you have two ways of deciding how to defend yourself, which is to be aggressive, to be kind. And so it's always better to kill them with kindness.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And forgive.
Yeah.
And forgive.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, because like as you said, Jesus said on the cross, it's like forgive them that they don't know what they're doing. It's just like, it's how to be kind, but how to have the ability to forgive.
Yeah. Which is, I think, it's the most amazing virtue that someone can truly have.
Yes.
Because forgiving fully, like, it's not easy. Because I believe when someone, you can't forget.
You can forget.
If it's like rubbish,
you can forget.
Like, whatever. But if someone has hurt you, then I guess it plays disappointment. And once you're disappointed, can you truly forgive? Can you truly go back into loving in the same way? You know, like, I guess, I don't know. Like, for me, I can forgive, but then there is never again chances to be in my life, you know?
I'm the same. I'm the same. I like to forgive because I don't want to live with that feeling and that, you know, disappointment, frustration within me. And I can forgive fully at a point that I forget what happened.
Yeah.
But I never gonna welcome back
Yeah.
to my life or to anything. So I have that. Because the forgiveness is very difficult, but it's something that is on the Bible and we need to do it.
Yes.
As hard as it can be. And then when you do it, it feels so peaceful.
Oh, yeah,
and then you forget. And then it's just like, it's a door shut, closed, and then you raise and everything is fine.
Yeah.
My love, you're just like, I can feel your soul, I can feel your energy, and I can feel your kindness. What an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And such an inspirational, and I am here sitting as a student. Today you are definitely my teacher. I've learned a lot from you, and just to listen to you, it brings me a lot of calm.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you so much for having me. And this has been amazing. Like, I would definitely say it's my favorite podcast interview that I had so far.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. And thank you so much to everyone that has been listening to us today. I hope you just, found this conversation as inspiring and have learned as much as I have learned today with this incredible Lady Barbara. So if you're not following at the Beyond Marketing podcast, make sure you do on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, and Apple Play. And I'm looking forward to see you guys on our next episode. And thank you so much again, my love.